Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'll be reviewing Appendage, now streaming on Hulu. So Appendage is a new horror film that just went up on the platform just in time for the Halloween season, and I have to say, I had a lot of fun with this one. This film is kind of an expansion on a previously made short film by the same director, and I really liked her unique style that she brings to this story, and I like kind of the messages behind it. It's very unique in its use of themes and exploring the ideas of how we deal with insecurity, and we kind of bottle that up and it can kind of grow to come against us, but it does it in a very literal sense in this film. Our main character, Hannah, who's played by Hadley Robinson, has a twin growing out of her body. She is a chimera, and it ends up growing and becoming its own little creature that is just kind of whispering in her ear all these ideas of doubt, and she's not good enough and everybody's working against her, she's unlovable, and it's trying to take over. It's trying to take over her life, and as it grows and changes, I loved the creature design. There's a lot of practical effects in this one. It can come off a little campy, but I'm a big fan of kind of creature features, and this brings some of those elements that I love in that kind of horror genre. As far as Hadley Robinson's performance, I think she does a pretty good job. She has to play a character who's dealing with a ridiculous event in her life. Obviously, in horror films, it can be a little over the top and a little ridiculous. You get that in this film like you do in any other horror film, but I do think it kind of wades between being kind of gross out horror and then some real personal and emotional moments that people can relate to in their own way. And I think that's one of the times where horror kind of raises above itself as a genre, when you're able to point out real life situations and kind of blow them up to the most maximum proportions. And this movie does a good job of that. Our director obviously knows what she's going for with the themes and us dealing with our self-doubt and kind of bringing that into a real monster in the real world. It's kind of a monster in our minds that holds us back. But in this one, it's kind of literally out there trying to take you down. So I liked that take on it. That being said, this isn't a perfect movie by any means. It feels a little rough at times, and it does get, like I said, a little ridiculous. So you kind of have to be along for the ride. There are some almost comedic elements by the end of the film. So I do think if you're going for it expecting like a really grounded horror, you might not like it. But if you want kind of an experimental, exploratory horror film about doubt in kind of a campy way in many times, I think it's quite the fun film to check out. Anna Zolokovic, the director of this film, like I said, I would love to see what she does moving forward. She obviously has done some short films, and this is kind of one of the first forays into like a feature-length film, so I would love to see more horror elements from her. Honestly, I think some of the best directors in modern horror are women, and I think they can explore some really interesting themes that maybe men can't in many ways, and you see that in this movie and her relationships and what she's dealing with as a woman, our main character, so I'd love to see more moving forward. I had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, not the greatest movie in the world, but I definitely enjoyed it. So if you check out Appendage on Hulu, let me know what you thought about in the comments below. Did you like it as much as me? Did you like it less? I always love to hear people's opinions. And horror is such a strange genre because some people can absolutely love a horror film or they can absolutely hate a horror film. It feels like we end up on both ends of the spectrum most of the time with these movies. So I always love to hear what people think, whether they really hated it or they really loved it. I just love hearing all the varying opinions specifically in this genre. So again, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.